Good morning to you, good day to you, and good evening to you, whatever time of day it is that you are listening. I wish you the absolute best. My name is Freed. Welcome to The Art of Being Freed. This is a podcast that focuses on growth mindset for creatives and all things in between. Now, today I want to credit, as we jump in, Conundrum on Instagram for the source of this podcast. She had a post about escapism with a lot of what's going on in the world today, from the recession to wars, inflation, rents, mortgages. People are looking for ways to escape. The problem is people are escaping to toxic resources, things that have negative vibes. Maybe they just become, a big time suck. It's usually entertainment based. Movies, video games, that's on the light end. It can definitely get dark if you don't identify what you're escaping from. Now, that's a topic for another video or podcast, and it may be different for you, but I do want to give you different ways to cope with escapism that will still allow you to escape, right? Because sometimes you do need to get away. The outcome for you is that you sharpen your critical thinking skills, which will allow you to be more aware, more present, more grounded, and most importantly, it will reinstill your purpose. So let's hop into it. First thing you want to do is go outside. This is part of raising a successful, family, is getting active together and moving outside. And if it's not just for you, focus on taking steps. My goal is to get in 8,000 to 10,000 steps a day outside right now while the weather's cool in Phoenix. So if I'm out and I'm moving, I'm not connected to the tech and I'm less likely to log into something. So get outside. Find ways to reduce screen time. That's the second way to cope with escapism. A way to do that is to play games and read books. Now, the big difference here is that you want to replace the controller and the tablet for a real book and board games. The idea is to reduce screen time. And if you're solo, puzzles are great. You want to play something simple that will sharpen your critical thinking skills. And this is also going to help you to develop the ability to be present. It's so important for you to be present. Next, write out a vision. It's not necessarily about having, plans or goals as much as it's about visualizing the type of person that you want to be, that you want to become. I know there's nothing wrong with wanting the best for yourself or wanting the best version of yourself. If you're ever going to escape for a time to anything, it should be visualizing, obsessing even over the type of person that you wish to become. Now, I want to challenge you to make sure that every action that you do is in alignment with that person that you're seeing when you visualize. Now, the other day I was getting prepared for the week and I had this brief vibe of overwhelm because there was just so much that I needed to do and follow up on. And immediately I went to my journal and started writing down everything that was important for the week. I asked myself at the top of every week, what's important this week? And immediately I'm overcome with this sense of relief, right? It was very refreshing. I had that vision in front of me. So if your thoughts are ever unorganized, take them out of your head and put them on paper. Now, here's another key to vision. You want to create a version of yourself that is not necessarily attached to the world. People like to focus on just a singular outcome. I want a raise. I want a new car, a new house, things like that, right? Something that would appear to raise your status, but things like that are just things. I would challenge you to focus on building your ideal self-image. Now, as you're focused on that, you can think about some of the things that might come with that, right? So focus on that. And the only way you can focus on building your ideal self-image is by embedding it within your subconscious. So you need to build and develop some sort of habit that will allow you to show up for at least 21 days. Before you go to bed, when you wake up, some sort of routine, some sort of mantra, some sort of affirmation. Maybe you just spend 20 minutes a day, right? Or 20 minutes in the morning or 20 minutes at night looking at your vision board. But if you want to escape, you need to escape towards the ideal person that you want to become. Don't escape to the toxicity. Don't escape to the negativity, the things that will distract you and take away your attention. You should focus primarily on seeking positive things, seeking good things. Don't wake up like we had this Cat Williams interview, right? And it's still in the headlines. There are people who have dedicated lots of time, lots of hours to dissecting that interview, which was, I watched it, no lie, it was one of the greatest interviews I've ever seen. It was very highly entertaining. But when you start spending hours on hours on hours escaping into that world, digging through the layers, going through the conspiracies, before you know it, you spent a half a day, right? Or a third of your day into somebody else's business. So one way to cope with escapism is to mind the business that pays you. Stay involved on building your own space, your own economy. Don't get too caught up in the hyper realism that happens in the blogs, in the celebrity gossip. It is there as entertainment. So it's okay to indulge momentarily for a bit, but don't live there. Anything you want, you should focus on. And anything you focus on will increase, it will expand. So ensure that you are being intentional with what and who you give your attention to. It is a new year. You have the ability to step out and control what you consume. Just understand that there is a fight for your attention. It's coming from all over the place. So if you need to schedule time, hey, I'm going to find an hour block where you could just kind of indulge, right? If that's your thing. But if you're disciplined to realize that there's a war for your attention, you should be able to tap into these tips, and it will allow you to hone in on your purpose, because you get outside. That's a great way to get away. You play games and read books, puzzles, you challenge your mind, you learn new things, escape to new worlds and learn in the process, and sharpen your mind, sharpen your critical thinking skills. And then you create a vision, the ideal vision of yourself, right? That's going to allow you to really lean into that central purpose, because as you create that vision of yourself, it can become your central purpose, which is a purpose that just is never ending, right? And that will allow you to look to the future, to look to the next day with anticipation, right? And not anxiety, because you've laid everything out, you've put everything out there. And this is going to be very important, especially if you're creatives, because creative people it's just easy to daydream and just put on whatever. Let me just throw on a TV show and binge watch the whole thing right now because I'm just over it. And I just want to escape. I want to get away. And before you know it, you've lost days, right? So what's important to you right now that you want to get done? If you have goals that you wanted to accomplish at the top of the year, start working on them now. Don't become a robot, right? Like, have some leisure time, have some recreation time, but just spend it constructively and wisely. So with that said, this is Freed with The Art of Being Freed. I appreciate y'all coming through. Until next week, I will see you soon. Peace.